Alright. Hello. Welcome to Minecraft ASMR. Some unedited footage of me just yapping. Today I wanted to talk about some music stuff for music nerds. Um, Feel free to, click off the video. Feel free to listen. But I wanted to talk about the algorithm and how people blow up. By the way, I don't have a script, so I'm just kind of just talking to myself. Um, but I just wanted to talk about the algorithm for underground musicians. That is so loud. Oh yeah, that's what I was doing. I was turning this down a little bit. Or no, it would be this one. So, if you guys don't know, I am an artist. I like to proclaim that title. And I usually put music first and then everything else second. So, my main goal is to, get some traction. I just want someone to come back and be like, yo, this artist is pretty sick and all that. But it is kind of hard to do. Oh, hold on. I gotta change my input. I gotta get the game capture. Is that good? Is it working? Turn it up a little bit. Alright. So, I don't have, money anymore to just throw myself at an algorithm that doesn't want me. And I'm trying to do everything I can. I'm doing, a lot of collaborations. Oh, yeah, on that topic, if you're an artist and you don't have any guidance of where to go with your music, I think collaborations is the best way to do so, because you can get you have twice the exposure. So let's say you have a fan base of or I wouldn't say fan base, I'll say community. Damn it. Alright, anyway. So, yeah, where was I? I have a small, feeble little brain. Oh, yeah, so, collaborations. They make the world go round and round. And I think starting out, even if your music's the best, if someone wants to get on your song, I would just let it happen. You can always, obviously if you don't like the verse, you can just tell them about it. I don't know how to do that part. I'm not the best communicator. But what I do know is that you can mix it. And if you don't have the mixing skills required to mix someone else's part, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. That's not a skill everyone can have, because you don't know what they want to sound like, and most of the time you don't know what you want them to sound like either. So this might be this is the duality of it. There's a lot of people that make music that all sound the same, and they pirate beats and all that, which is it's I guess in a way is fine if you're not making profit off of it. But people do it to make profit, and they blow up off of it, not paying the people who made the the song happen. And it's sad, because with collaborations, if someone asks you to hop on a song, you won't know if it's a pirated beat or not, and that's not really your place to care about it at all. But still, it's just why would you want that to be on your brand? You know what I'm saying? So, who just texted me? Oh, Parley. Oh. Okay. Anyway, and it's really important that the people you're working with are responsible enough to give credit or give the proper care to the beat or the artist. I don't know. I lost my train of thought there. That probably didn't make sense. But a wise man named Tony Vado once told me that you have to pay for people to be there, like he paid people to be there. You know what I'm saying? Um, and Tony V also told me that if you think your music is good enough, that I forgot what he said, guys, but that's okay because I have a tiny little brain. Um, I don't know, but I think collaborations is the best way to get somewhat, some exposure or some traction. And it's really important that the people you're working with are responsible. Was where my train of thought was. And with that said, you have to. I mean, obviously you can pick and choose who your collaborations are, but it's okay to be picky. Like, and that's fine because I'm extremely picky about who I collaborate with, because I don't want someone on my song that's gonna make the song sound, not the best quality, or different from my vision of the song. Like, and the big part of that is that people have to know. For me, when I collaborate, I'm a lyrical musician, and I think that lyrics are the most important part of a song, or at least the melody. And it and I like, so let's say I have a song called New Dawn, and it has a feature on it, and this feature I want to rap about a new dawn, which is like a fresh start kind of. And like it's not like I'm gonna get him off the song if he doesn't, but everyone has a preference for collaborations, and that's perfectly fine. You can be picky all you want, but you have to go about it the right way, because you can't just like be an asshole to someone you're working with and all that. So you have to be, I would say, somewhat mature about it. Not somewhat, you have to be mature about it. And like no one's gonna want to work with you if you're an asshole, and that reputation stays with you. Like I believe in karma. I'm a firm believer of karma. What? I'm a firm believer of karma, and I think that if you don't treat people the way they want to be treated, that the karma's gonna come back and suck the venom out of your butt cheeks or something like that. And I don't want that. So I try to be as formal as I can. And with that said, if someone's part is bad, I'm telling him that it's bad, because I'm a real motherfucker, right? Like I don't want them to keep going down a path where they can't reach their full potential. Like I had this feature recently where it's not that his part was bad, it's that it wasn't the vision that I was going for. I told him that. I told him straight up, I'm like, hey, I'm not a big fan of it, yada yada yada. But it wasn't bad. It just wasn't the vision that I was going for. And one of the reasons I told this person was that it was because a lot of other people didn't think it fit the song. And like I said, it's not horrible. It wasn't a bad part. I actually really liked it, and so did a lot of other people. But like it wasn't my vision, and it's no offense to, you know who you are if you're watching this. No offense to you. It's literally nothing against you. It's that like it's just not the vision I was going for, and I had to be upfront about that because I didn't want to release something that wasn't me, and it's a hard topic. You need respect in this industry to get enough respect to work with artists that are there's always going to be someone better than you. So with artists that are better than you, or artists that have been doing it longer than you. And that's another thing about collaborations is don't only find people you think are better than you. Find people that could use some help on a mixing or just anything. That is helping someone get better is a feat that will come back around, and like let's say most of the time they end up actually improving, and then you helped build that foundation, and now you have an artist that could be better than you, is on the same par with you, or all of that. And that might be a toxic outlook on it, but that is the duality of this industry. Is you need to be extremely humble of where your place is in the industry. So don't go out looking for people that are verified with like 200,000 followers and like 3 million plays. That's not gonna happen for two reasons. For one is that they're so much bigger than you, and number two is that they probably charge, and a lot at that. So unless you have the money to spend, and even if you get noticed, you have most of the time you have to spend a lot of money for a collaboration, and it's a risk, it's a gamble, because sometimes features don't go all out like they do in their songs on collaborations. So you're forced to do basically everything in the song yourself, and that's fine. Our big artists do that. It's not their fault. It's not your fault. It just happens because people. Okay, in my mindset, I prefer going harder on. Where's my house at? Oh, I prefer going harder on collaborations because I'm really competitive, but I don't tell that to people, and that helps me keep going to make the best sound I can. Like, not competitive to me trying to be better than them, but think of it as playing Rocket League. I want to tie the game. I don't want to win. I don't want to lose. I just want the game to be tied so both of us have some sort of victory and achievement. And that's just me though. Other people work differently. Anyway, so yeah, collaborations, gotta be really humble, gotta respect the people you work with, and you gotta know your place. Those are the three biggest things about collaborations. Now, another thing I wanted to touch on is inspiration. My friend Tony Vado brought this up on a couple of his videos on some social media, and he said, what did he say? Tony Vado said, cut your beats and don't spam your music to social media for promotion. He said that. Another thing that stuck with me, what he said was, it's okay to start out inspired by another artist. So you won't have your own sound at the start of music creation. If that happens, it's probably more rare than finding diamonds in the nether, which you can't unless they're in a chest. So yeah, another thing, don't just spam your music to your friends or family, because they don't know you as a musician, so their head won't be in the same game as yours. Just don't do it, period. If you want to do that, what I do is, like, on Discord, I'll have a music server, and I'll go to the said server, and I'll post my music in the promo channel or self-promotion, and I'll ask for feedback. And if someone gives me feedback, then that's free feedback without looking like a dick and spamming your music to people who probably don't even know who you are or care enough to listen to it. And like I said before, there's a lot of duality in music creation, and it's not anything to do with you. It's just the industry, because of how like keen the industry is to for success. And like the biggest thing with me is that I love being original. So I do not like copying other people. Um, Obviously, my first big song is called Stargirl. Um, and you could tell it's literally inspired by Suicide Boys. And then I took that and I made it into my own sound. And now none of my songs sound like Suicide Boys. I mean, I follow the same, pattern as that song, but I don't try to sound like them anymore. Okay, that's another thing. It's okay to have inspiration. It is not okay to copy. Like my friend Tony Vado. Shout out Tony Vado. Um, he's heavily inspired by Little Peep, and you can tell that that's the aesthetic in a good little bit of his early songs. Like he has a song called KMS. Yeah, and you could tell there was a lot of inspiration from Little Peep. And I think that is fucking amazing because like it's a really good way to start off and tell people that like you're like, hey, I admire this person, but I don't want to be like them because I can never be like this person. So the biggest thing is yeah, sorry, I'm not really much of a speaker, but don't copy your artist word for word. Like, don't go steal an instrumental, steal the flow and the vibe, and then just have different lyrics over it and call that a song. Don't do that. That's for one, that is extremely disrespectful to the artist, and two, there's no originality. Like, take inspiration, don't copy. That is the best piece of advice that I could give. And with that, you have to know what like you have to have a vision. You can just wing it. You can just wing it, freestyle everything, yada yada yada. But there will be no emotion or connection behind the song. It'll just be purely freestyle. And I'm not saying that's like bad to do, because if you're good at it, you can tell a story while doing it. But a lot of people can't do that. They don't have that skill. And it's like, it's really sad that that's the reality, but it is. And I forgot what I was saying, so I'm gonna move on. But yeah, so take inspiration, don't copy, and okay, so yeah, collaborations, inspiration, two biggest things in the music industry for underground artists. There's this person that I'm working with, and her name is, I think, Ayana. I'll put a little screenshot on the screen here. Go check her out. And she has a saying, collaborations make the world go around. And that really inspired me to want to work with more people. Like, I don't care if that's my brand, is just literally only doing collab songs. That's not, like, it's not a terrible idea to do that. And I'm not being biased because I want to do that, but I'm saying do whatever you think your brand works with. Don't, that comes with the originality part. You can't just like, you can't have a brand tied to someone else. Like me, my first, a lot of people know this, my first persona, like my first online persona, was Store and Made It. And my friend X Luna, his whole brand is X Luna Made It. And he is actually the reason that I started doing music stuff. Shout out X Luna. And I eventually got around to collaborating with him, and it was awesome. Like, we made a whole collab EP after he featured me on his album. Dude, it was awesome. Anyway, that's not my point. So I didn't want my branding to be tied to him. So that's one of the reasons that I rebranded to Exodroid. because I want my brand to be me and not inspired by anyone else. I just gave it up. And that's another thing. If you're gonna rebrand, do it. Like, just do it before you get big, because you're gonna, if you have a fan base when you're big, if you get big, pause, the chances are is you're gonna lose your community, if, like I said, if you have one built. And no one wants that. If you want to take music seriously and get some traction, you want to, I don't know, how do I word this, you want to keep your community. That is the number one thing you want to do. So if you're gonna rebrand, you have to do it early in the career, unless you have insane promotion for a rebrand. Now, I might be wrong, but this is just how I see it. So take everything I say with a little bit of salt, a little grain of salt. So always be original, and make sure your brand is something that you'll be known for. Don't just fucking copy someone. I mean, obviously, unless you're in like a music group like NBA or something like that, that's completely different. That's fine, but don't just slap on a different like name on someone's brand. Like Xluna made it, Thorn made it. Don't do that. So there's collaborations. There's having your own sound. Okay, the next thing I want to touch on is, why do so much people use auto-tune? Like, I get rage music is liked by a large group of people, but just, it's why? Like, if you're not taking it seriously, then don't listen to this part. But if you're taking it seriously, find your own sound. Even if it's bad to start off with, you can turn it into something good. You can turn lemons into lemonade. So you just have to execute it right, and you have to take it seriously and do a lot of reflection. And that's, that's fine. It's perfectly fine to sound bad at first. No one is going to be perfect. Not even Tony Veto's music is perfect, and that dude is everything I want to be. Like, his music is fucking amazing, but you'll notice there's some flaws in his music. Like, there in one of his songs, I think it's Fallen Angel with Jamie Rogers on his album Earthbound. There's a part in the song where you can hear his mic tweaking a little bit, and you can hear his breath cut out abruptly. That's something not the average listener will catch probably, but like, it's not perfect, but it's still amazing. You can have flaws and have a song sound fucking amazing. You have to write that down or something. That, like, you can't just start making music and magically be good. It takes time to get used to, especially like if you want to, you have to learn music theory eventually. You have to learn some things about that to resonate perfectly with everything in the industry. And you have to know what you're doing if you want it to be lemonade. Otherwise, it's literally just lemons at face value. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. I'm a big idiot. So take that with a grain of salt. And yeah, don't ever freak out if you think your music sounds ass. Just upload it. Just do it. Just do it. That's my biggest piece of advice. I really take that rebrand one seriously, because I have rebranded 3 times, and my friend Tony Vedo has rebranded like, I want to say close to 3 or 4 times, and he's been amazing at it. Each era was a different part of his life, and it's insane that he is where he is now. Shout out Tony Vedo. He's my biggest inspiration. You guys need to go check him out. And Xluna. Xluna's the reason I got into it. And Tony Vedo. That's another thing. Make sure you become like with the collaborations, make sure you befriend some of them so you can actually, have critical feedback from someone else's point of view, because friends keep it real, and if they don't, they're not friends. It's that simple. So I think out of everything I've said so far, I think collaborations are the most important part, because I don't have to say it again, but I have spoken. So there's all those, and then another thing I want to touch on is it goes with what I was saying with it's not gonna be perfect at the start of it. Mixing, I feel like, is the most critical part of music. Obviously, next to recording or the vocals are always number one, because like if you're gonna pay for beats, you're not making the beat, so it doesn't matter if it's important or not. In terms of your music, so the thing with that is that ties in with what I said before about the whole music theory thing. You have to learn about frequencies. You have to learn what everything is. Like the most simple one I can find, or I know of, or I can think about, is EQ, reverb, and de-essers. Like there's always something that you can learn, because de-essers I learned recently. I didn't know that was a thing. And my great friend Tony Vado, shout out Tony Vado, actually told me about it. I was like, yo, my S's are really sharp, and I don't know how to fix it, because I don't want to re-record, because I like the way it sounds. And then he was like, yo, there's a de-esser for that, you fucking idiot. And I was like, what? What's it called? And then, long story short, I figured out what a de-esser was. So another thing with being mutuals with an artist is they probably possess some sort of knowledge that you don't, that you can use to enhance your music. And yeah, so a lot of this ties into knowing people that do this hobby just like you. Sorry, I'm not like put together or anything. I'm just talking while doing Minecraft stuff. But it's really important that you have friends that know what they're doing to an extent. I think I'm going to make a little igloo. I don't have a vision for this. Like right here. I'm just freestyling this. Wow, I already fucked up. That's awesome. How do I want this to look? I mean, that doesn't look bad or anything. Shit. What's something else I should touch on? So I've already talked about don't spam your music. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Find your own way of, promotion. Don't just copy your favorite artist. Like I said, that ties into my inspiration. Don't do that, because it won't ever turn out well for you. I think the corner should be vlogs. Like right here. Okay, I like it. Don't have more of those. And another thing is, like, do what I'm doing. Make videos, show all sides of your personality. You're not just an artist. There's always a person behind the music. Shout out Tony Vado, trademark. So, I think I said pretty much everything about music as I can now. about, you know, taking it seriously from my point of view. Sorry if none of it made sense. I'm kind of like, I'm just here, just chilling. So I'm probably not making any sense, but that's fine because I'm just yapping. So little yap sesh. So if you want to take it seriously, I don't know how I'm gonna do for this one. I don't know if I like that actually. I'll see how it looks. I'll see how it turns out. Now moving on from music, there's one last thing I want to talk about, and it's in honor of, you know, I think in honor of mental health, and I guess I can tie it into music too. Is it's not bad to cry for help. Like there's no negativity of reaching out. I mean, unless it's like a guidance counselor, because them motherfuckers be snitching like crazy. But I mean, I get it's part of the job, but still, it's insane. Anyway, moving on. It's really important that you always have some sort of cry for help, because you can't always take everything on, you know, by yourself. Not like, I mean, I thought I could do that. I can't. I'm not as strong as I thought I was. Like, I guess I have depression, and I never even noticed. I thought it was just part of my ADHD, so I never really paid it much attention. But there's always a cry for help, and everyone has their own way of doing so. Like, it's never, always reach out to someone if you need it. You're not alone. Like there's gonna be people that have, you know, no friends. Like, I barely have any friends, but I still find a way to reach out to someone. And if you don't have friends to reach out, or friends that care enough to help you, there's always a hotline, or there's always other ways to go about it. Like, if you don't have friends and all you can do is sit in your depression, I would say the best thing to do in my experience is find peace of mind. It's like, what I mean by that is, what I do is I sit outside at night and I stargaze. That's how I spend my time. And I like, just listen to some calming music. What is my vision for this? I don't know what my vision is for this. So that's all I have to say. I probably had a whole nothing burger. Just wanted an excuse to play Minecraft. I'm gonna be doing a lot more of these, so, you know, stand by. But yeah, I hope something I said was helpful. So you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.